Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. You know, since we had the recent ruling on the Second Amendment from the Supreme Court, a lot of people have been running around talking about what this means. And people have been going in two different directions. There's some people that are like, it's just a minor ruling and it only affected those 5 states or whatever it is that have may issue instead of shall issue. And then there's other people that actually realize how big a decision this actually was. And they've been going around going, boy, what does this mean for other things? Because this decision is far-reaching. And not just because not only did they judge that, the Constitution has always granted every single individual a right to carry a firearm for self-defense, not just because they decided that, but because they also set forward a system for judging Second Amendment cases in the future, meaning they have to use historical precedent. They can't use this two-tier, safety of the society kind of garbage that they've used in the past. But the ruling alone, like I said, is very far-reaching. A lot of people don't seem to understand that. But like I said, the people that do understand it, they're going like, well, what else is it going to mean? Is it going to mean the NFA goes away? No, it's not going to mean the NFA goes away. That'll have to be challenged specifically, and I don't really see it going anywhere anytime soon. I don't see any challenges on the horizon that are, probably going to win. So not really thinking the NFA is going to change real soon. Down the road, who knows? But right now, probably not anything to be looking forward to anytime soon. Another thing people ask is, well, will it be, national constitutional carry? Well, no, it won't be that either, unfortunately, because the Supreme Court, leaving some power in the hands of the politicians like they always do, they said, well, it's okay if states have a licensing scheme as long as that scheme doesn't prohibit people from getting a license. If it's not unreasonable, then it can still stand and they still are allowed to have them. So nationwide constitutional carry, probably not going to happen right now. I think it will eventually happen. And I think the reason that it will eventually happen has got something to do with what I'm going to say I think will definitely happen now. And what I think will definitely happen now is national reciprocity. I don't see any way now we cannot have national reciprocity. I don't think there's any way around it. Because now that the Supreme Court has said carrying a gun for self-defense is your right, your constitutional federal right, and we have acknowledged that specifically, states can't deny you that right, whether you live there or you don't live there. So I don't see how we're not going to have national reciprocity. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, yeah, but in their state, they require a license. And if you don't have that license, you can't carry. Well, here's an example that I use anytime someone argues with me about this. People that are saying, no, national reciprocity shouldn't be a thing because blah, blah, blah. Well, here's how it goes. Let's say you ride a motorcycle like I do, and you live in a state that does not require a endorsement on your license to ride a motorcycle. In some states, if you have a driver's license, that don't mean you can get on a motorcycle and get on the streets. You have to get a special endorsement on your license. You have a special license that shows you can also ride a motorcycle. So some states have that, some states don't. Some states you can just hop on a motorcycle with your regular driver's license. I guess they figure, if you're not a threat to people in a car, you're definitely not a threat to them on a motorcycle. Because, usually the victim of a motorcycle crash is you. So they aren't too worried about it. But let's say for sake of argument, you live in a state, no requirement for a special endorsement on your license. You don't have to have a special license to drive a motorcycle. But you drive across country and you drive through a state that does have a requirement for an endorsement on your driver's license. If they pull you over in that state, and they look at your license and say, there's no endorsement for a motorcycle here, and you say, well, my state doesn't require it, well, they can't say, well, we're going to impound your motorcycle and arrest you because you're driving without an endorsement. That's their state requirement. That's a restriction they place on residents. If you're traveling through the state, they have to honor your right to drive your motorcycle because you have that right in your state, and you're just passing through. They don't get to set new rules for you that counter your state laws, period. They don't get to do that. So when you look at the licensing schemes as sort of like whether you have to have a license to drive a motorcycle or not, a special license, it really kind of makes it hard to say any state would ever be able to say, well, you can't come here and carry because we don't honor the way your state does things. Same thing with the motorcycle. You can't drive your motorcycle through here because we don't honor your driver's license and the way they do things regarding motorcycles. That would be illegal and would get them in a lot of trouble federally. So I can't see how it's any different with a gun license, carry permits. If you are able to carry in your home state and you are just visiting or passing through another state and it is your national, federal, guaranteed by the Constitution right to carry a firearm for self-defense, how are they going to justify saying, well, you can't carry here unless you get our permit? A lot of these places don't even offer permits to out-of-state people. So if someone from out-of-state came into their state, they would be immediately stripped of their constitutional rights. That's not allowed. If you are traveling and it's an election time, you can even vote absentee or, from out of state from where you're at. They can't deny you that right. They can't say, if you're here in the state of Michigan and you're visiting from Florida, you can't use that ballot to vote in a Florida election. They can't deny you that right. Same thing with carry permits. So when people ask me, what are we going to see? What changes are we going to see immediately? Well, as far as what we're going to see a lot of changes, especially when it comes to court verdicts, because like I said, now they have to use that historic precedent instead of, public safety and this other two-tier system garbage they were using. So we're going to see a lot of changes because of that. I think we're going to see mag restrictions go away, handgun rosters go away. It's going to take time, but we now have the ammunition to get that done. So that's going to be coming in the long run. But right now, I just don't see any way they could enforce a state's licensing scheme onto an out-of-state resident who is exercising their rights. I think the first time this happens, it's going to go to court and they're going to be told that's their right. You have a right to place a specific requirement on your citizens in your state, but you don't have a right to do that on citizens in other states. And if they cross your border, they're protected by certain rules and laws that state that if they have a right, they have it everywhere. And they're not under your jurisdiction. So you can't enforce your laws on them as long as they're obeying the laws of their own state or just basically the federal laws. So like I said, I don't see a lot of super fast changes in a lot of other places, but I think the next thing we'll probably win an easy victory on is national reciprocity for carry. All right, everybody, that's it for me today. I just want to say one thing here before I go. As far as TYM-PPP is concerned, I am going to be revamping that over the next week. If you're someone that is applying over on the website, keep applying. All those names are still going to go into the next selection process. But we're going to be changing how we do things. So just keep your eyes open for that. Also, we're going to be launching a fundraiser here in the next couple of days for Fur Friends Animal Rescue. I don't know about anybody else out there if you've been paying attention, but right now we are in a crisis as far as animal rescue is concerned. We are in desperate need of foster families. We are in desperate need of forever families. But right now, the cost of what's going on is just outstanding. Dogs are being abandoned at a universally historic rate. Shelters that used to put down 5 or 6 dogs a day, kill shelters, are now doing 50 to 75. There have been some real bad horror stories lately because people after the pandemic are turning over their dogs. So got a real crisis in the animal rescue industry right now, and we're going to try to do a fundraiser to help alleviate a little bit of the pain. So keep your eyes open for that. And with all that being said, I am out of here. I want to thank everyone for coming today. I do appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Until then, remember, come to the live chat tonight. We have live chats every night at 6 p.m. Pacific time, except for Monday and Wednesday when they're at 5 p.m. So come on over. If you think I say stupid stuff in these chats, wait till you see what I say in the live chats. We like to have fun over there. We like to cover a lot of topics. It's everything from guns and freedom to motorcycles and, I could have added another M word there, but we do talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it here. But like I said, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.